this up a little bit. It's my first time like really waking up and just setting up my camera and just like really just pressing record. Um, Something that I'd love to get in the habit of. Low key, I just feel like if you can wake up and just press record like first thing in the morning, you bypass all of the excuses that your mind will come up with before making a video. I want to start this off by doing something that I said I wanted to do. So this book is called Do the Impossible. Would you like to have a bigger impact on the world? Yes. Many people say that they want to change the world, but very few mean it and fewer act. Truth is, making a difference is tough. And you spend a lifetime trying to do so while having little to show for your efforts. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee your actions will generate the impact you desire. But here's the good news. There are very few specific things that you can do to turn the odds in your favor. Author and coach davinci, I really hope I'm not botching his name, wants you to make a difference in the world around you. In his latest book, Do the Impossible, you will discover the exact framework you need to become extraordinary and impact the world at scale. In Do the Impossible, you will learn the 8 truths you must understand about human nature, the 3 meta beliefs that will transform the way you think forever, the 8 types of leverage successful people use to scale their impact, why making a difference is all about accumulating more energy and how to do so, and how to develop an extraordinary mindset, and much more. Do the Impossible is your must-read guide to help you develop an extraordinary mindset and make a difference in the world. It is, if you like easy to understand strategies, practical exercises, and no-nonsense teachings, you will love this book. I've had this book for a minute, have not read it. Mr. Maurice is the author of over 20 books, including #1 bestseller, Master Your Emotions. Definitely have to check that out. And which has sold close to 300,000 copies and been translated into more than 20 languages, including French, Spanish, German, Chinese, Thai, and Russian. The bot's mission is to help ordinary people attain extraordinary results. If you like simple, practical, and inspiring books and are committed to improve your life, you'll love his work. Let's see if I could get through chapter 1. Do the Impossible. Who is this book for? Many people say that they want to change the world, but very few mean it. That is, few will choose to do the actual work and pay the price. It's more comfortable for them to broadcast their noble intentions to the world than to work hard to make it happen, isn't it? This book is intended for committed people who are willing to pay the price. It's for those who are more interested in making an impact than in being admired or famous. It's for those who desire to help is stronger. It's for those whose desire is to help is stronger than the desire to be right, and for those whose actions speak louder than their words. As Henry Ford said, you can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. Many people have good intentions and lofty aspirations, but in the end, all that matters is the impact your actions will make. The truth is, making a genuine impact is tough, really tough. And even if you were to impact millions of people's lives in the grand scheme of things, it might not make much of a difference. So why even bother? Why try to do impossible things and become extraordinary? The answer is, read on. Doing the impossible and becoming extraordinary. When was the last time you did something that you thought would be impossible? How did it make you feel? Whenever you do impossible things, you challenge your limited sense of self. You remove the label society has given you. You transform the story you're telling yourself, and perhaps more importantly, you feel alive. Definitely felt like that when I jumped out of a plane. And when I first closed my first client, that was really cool. Um, Doing the impossible offers you a glimpse of yourself, what it looks like, and what it's capable of becoming. The more layers of fear and self limitation you pull away, the more you realize the immensity of the power within yourself. As a result, your sense of self expands, your old self gives way to a more powerful and authentic self. In other words, as you do the impossible, you release your fear. As you destroy your limitations, you begin your path towards becoming extraordinary. Now, why should you strive to do the impossible and become extraordinary? Is it to accumulate money, gain power, become famous? No. Choosing to become extraordinary is making a declaration of love to the person you see in the mirror. It's committing to giving your best, not just to contribute to the world or gather accolades, but to be able to say to yourself, I'm proud of you, and to actually feel it and know it to be true in your heart. Choosing to be extraordinary is refusing to be little more than extra. Choosing to be extraordinary is refusing to be a little more than an extra in a movie of your life. Instead, you can choose to become the main character. Being extraordinary is to act in a way that makes your movie worth watching. You do this by facing your fears, moving beyond your comfort zone, and doing the seemingly possible. In the end, being extraordinary is a choice. It's a promise you make to yourself every day. We can all choose to be extraordinary in our own unique way. As you give your best, you discover the true meaning of self-esteem. Having deeper confidence, you begin to notice changes. You act differently. You speak differently. You become more convincing. You become more real. You become more relaxed. And as you start to love yourself more, gaining the approval of others becomes less important. Finally, choosing to be extraordinary is accepting your gifts and expressing them to the fullest. It's embracing your talents, skills, and personalities so that you can feel good about yourself and impact the world simply by being yourself. So, do what you want to do. So, do you want to do the impossible and become extraordinary? If so, keep reading. Introduction. Ever since I became a teenager, I've had this feeling I would do extraordinary things, but nothing significant happened until I entered my 30s. Until that point, I felt too insecure. I wasn't smart, disciplined, or confident enough to be the next Nelson Mandela, Mahatma Gandhi, or Elon Musk. I wondered how on earth a shy, introverted guy like me could even dream of doing anything extraordinary. But my biggest shock came when I joined an MBA program. All of a sudden, I had to confront the harsh reality that many people in the course were a great deal smarter than me, and it seemed no amount of work would enable me to catch up with them. If anything, when everybody studied hard, the smartest people just kept increasing their lead over me. That was when I had to face my insecurities and perceived my limitations. Yet, even so, the idea that I was capable of doing extraordinary things still nagged away at me. So I had a decision to make. Would I do something about my perceived failings, or would I give up the coast through life? Or would I give up and coast through life? It took me a while, but after a great deal of soul searching, I made a discovery. Friends had often told me that I was most passionate when talking about personal development. It gave me an idea. I thought there was something here. I have something within myself that I don't see in others. If I commit to my vision and work relentlessly on myself, I can inspire smart people to pursue their vision and do extraordinary things. I had what might be called an epiphany. In that moment, I realized that I didn't have to be a genius. I realized that I can use my ability to inspire and motivate people to move towards their vision. So I began to write, and I didn't stop. Over time, book sales increased. One day, a Japanese publisher offered to distribute my book. Another day, a Chinese publisher contacted me, and so it continued. Eventually, my books were published in more than 20 languages. The truth is, while trying to inspire others, I was also trying to inspire myself. Writing acted as therapy, and it helped me discover that I was more capable than I could have ever imagined. So I started wondering what my limits were. What could I achieve if I give it my all? Who would I become? What was the greatest possible impact I could have on the world? But for a while, I got lost. I relied on my past accomplishments and stopped giving my best. While other people were impressed by my results, I wasn't. I had forgotten the lessons I teach others. We are successful in life when we do the best we can today. Success is a process and it never ends. Success is who we are, and we must embody it every day. So I went back to the drawing board. I told myself I had done nothing, that I knew nothing, and that the best was yet to come. I let go of my past accomplishments and behaved as though I were penniless, unsuccessful, and that I had to prove myself all over again. Most importantly, I realized that there was only one person I needed to impress: the man in the mirror. I wanted to be able to say to myself, "I'm proud of you, Debat," and to feel it deep inside my heart. So I came to a decision: I would become extraordinary. In the process, I learned a key lesson. Most people are selling themselves way too short. They inhibit a tiny version of themselves, one who is filled with negative assumptions and self-imposed limitations. The writer Stephen Pressfield wrote that most of us have two lives: the life we live and the unlived life within us. And unfortunately, the unlived life within us is usually far larger than the life we actually do live. The premise of this book is simple. There are people who can impact the world at scale and help millions. This book is here to serve as a guide. It's here to wake up the talented people who have lived way too small for way too long. It's here to give them permission to share more of themselves instead of hiding behind fears, self-imposed limitations, and excuses. If you can relate to this intention, read this book. Then use it to move from ordinary to extraordinary. Let go of layers of limitations and start uncovering what you're capable of becoming. Keep impressing yourself by doing the impossible things. Get a taste for what it means to expand beyond your limited sense of self. Throughout this book, we'll go over what you need to know to utilize your talent and skills to help you become extraordinary and impact the world at scale. In part 1, Fundamental Assumptions and Models of Reality, I'll challenge you to update your beliefs and think bigger than you ever thought before. We'll discuss what assumptions are and how they shape your life. We'll discuss the 8 principles that drive most human behavior. You'll also learn 3 laws of belief and 3 key beliefs, meta beliefs, that will profoundly impact everything you do. In part 2, Applying Extreme Leverage, we will delve into the 8 different sources of leverage that you must use to increase the power of your actions exponentially. This includes the size and the quality of your thoughts, your thinking skills, your personal growth, technology, your focus, other people's time, money, and knowledge. By reading this book, you will acquire the framework that you need to scale your impact and make a difference. You'll discover why making an impact is all about accumulating energy and channeling it effectively. And you'll also learn how to do so intentionally. In truth, you have far more power than you can imagine. You would need many lifetimes to reach the limits of your capacity. Unfortunately, you only have one lifetime. Let's ensure you make the most of your lifetime by using as much of your potential as possible. So, are you ready to embark on the journey of exponential growth, extreme scale, and massive impact? If so, read on. Your free step-by-step workbook. To help you become extraordinary, I've created a workbook as a companion guide to this book. Make sure you download it at the following URL: whatispersonaldevelopment.org/do-the-impossible. Again, that is whatispersonaldevelopment.org/do-the-impossible. If you have any difficulties downloading this workbook, contact me at debatmaurice@gmail.com and I'll send it to you as soon as possible. Alternatively, you can also use the workbook available at the end of this book. Part 1: Fundamental Assumptions and Models of Reality.